So, One Coco, the modern day guide to long distance relationships. This is the book. Let's give you a good view here. That's the book. So my followers on Instagram have a lot of questions about the difference between the book, which I have in hand, and the master key. Now, as if the title of this book wasn't confusing enough, now I throw out a master key to my followers on a daily basis, and now they have no clue what the heck a master key is. I've even had orders that wanted the book but got the master key and said, but we all know that y'all got the master key and said, because the price is cheaper. But you wanted the book nonetheless, and I was able to get that sorted out for you. So I want to do a video today to explain to you what the difference is between the book in my hand and a master key, which I don't have in my hand right now. So this is the book, right? So I'm going to give you, this is my first real video walkthrough of this book. Oh, my computer just came up. So I'm going to show you the PDF of the master key. Master key. So it looks just like the book, okay? It looks just like the book. It's the same cover. However, it says in red, a nice little red at the bottom, it says master key, right? So what is the master key really, right? So inside the book, my lovely book here, inside the book is, I'm sorry, that was I don't know what just happened. So inside the book, after chapters 2 on maintenance, which chapter 2 is really the first chapter, real chapter of the book. Chapter 1 is the introduction. So after chapter 2 on maintenance, right, let me put that up close for you. So chapter 2 is maintenance. So after every chapter from chapters 2 to 11, which chapter 11 is everyone's favorite, and you'll see why. So if I can get to the end of this, that would be wonderful. So you have this lovely page at the end of the chapter that says, let me tap on here, that says worksheet, right? So it says maintenance worksheet. So then if you skip another page, you reveal the actual worksheet. So this is not only a guide, it's a guide and a workbook. Who knew? I'm kidding. But yes, so there's a worksheet at the back of each chapter from chapters 2 to 11. Now, the worksheet, right, has questions. It has questions that are based off the ideas and the concepts that were in the chapter before it. So these questions were developed from the content of the chapter, and they were developed in a special way, a way that would evaluate your relationship. So this is an evaluative tool for your relationship. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go through one of the worksheets with you, and you would not believe which worksheet I'm going to go through with you. You're going to love it. So, the most exciting part of this video, chapter 11. All right, so chapter 11 is on sex. So this chapter, and I'll give you a little introduction to chapter 11. So chapter 11 talks about, ways of coping with the lack of sex in a long distance relationship. It just talks about coping methods. It also gets a little political in like a paragraph or two with regards to some, you know, very sensitive issues as it relates to sexual substitution when you're in a long distance relationship. But I leave that for when you get your copy. You can read all about that in chapter 11 now, won't you? All right, so we're going to just go ahead and find chapter 11. Find the worksheet, which is here. So it says sex worksheet. All right, so we're going to skip along. And it exposes the question. So based off the chapter, which I'm not going to read it for you because I think it'll get a little, you know, long on the video if I were to do that. So I'll just leave that to you when you get your copy, right? So the worksheet has about 8 or 9 questions, right, in them. And like I said, these questions were specifically developed and written to evaluate the health or the state of your relationship. So here goes. Here are the questions for in chapters 11. Right? So the first question says, I exercise my imaginative mind in my relationship. Ooh. I don't mean to pick on you, but, right? So the neat thing about it is, let me focus this here. So the neat thing about it is that it has a little question or answer box here for you, right? So each worksheet has these little answer box thingies. It's just yes or no that you're going to say. And it says you, right? No, it says your answer, right? And then after you pick your answer, you've read it and you picked your answer, then the book asks you to ask your partner. So you can choose whether or not you want to, but this book is meant, this is the purpose of this book. It's meant to be a communicative method for you and your partner. So I really want you and your partner to take this book and read it together and answer these questions together and have a discussion. Start a discussion with your partner. So you're going to ask your partner what they think, yes or no. Then you're going to put the answers in here, right? So every question has that little answer box, and at the end of the questionnaire, it has a little guide here, right? So it tells you how many yeses and how many no's you're supposed to have, right? It says you're supposed to have, for chapter 11, you're supposed to answer 5 yeses and 3 no's, right? Now, how do I know, or how do I know how to set these as guides? I set these as guides. So I'm telling you, if you answer, there are 5 questions that you're supposed to answer yes to, and there are 3 questions that you're supposed to answer no to. So if you're the couple, right, that has all 8 yeses or everything is no, so 8 questions no, then something is off in your relationship as it relates to sexual substitution, right? As it relates to what the chapter was about. So something is off. So if you had 1 yes and 7 no's, something is off in your relationship. So that is how I set this answer guide, right? Which brings me to the master key. So you see how this just has a little answer guide for you. It doesn't give you nothing else. It doesn't give you an explanation as to why you should have yes or why you should have no. So this is where the master key comes in. The master key is going to go through every single one of these questions. And not only does the master key tells you what the answer is supposed to be, the master key explains to you in long paragraphs why you should have said yes to this question, why you should say no to this question. What does it mean if you said yes to a question that should have been no? What does it mean if you said no to a question that should have been yes? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for your partner? What does it mean for your relationship? And how do you fix it? That's the master key. That's what's inside of the master key, right? So I'm going to continue to read for you the other questions in chapter 11. So chapter 11, the second question says, I think of creative ways to connect with my partner daily. I want to ask you guys, what do you think that question should be? Do you think that should be a yes, or do you think that should be a no? Let me know what you think in the comments. All right. Question 3. I interact with my partner sexually. What do you think that should be? Let me know down in the comments. Tell me what you think the answer should be. That was question number 3. So question number 4. I feel safe to talk about sex with my partner. That's a serious one. What do you think you should answer to that one? What do you think the answer should be in order to judge your relationship as being healthy? What do you think the answer to that should be? So the question again, question 4, I feel safe to talk about sex with my partner, right? Now, question 5, my partner relieves my sexual tensions. Ooh, Lord. What do you think the answer to that should be? On question 6, I worry about my partner cheating due to the need for sex. What do you think the answer should be to that? And what do you think, if the person answered the opposite, what do you think the reason for that could be? All right. Question number 7, I am never sure if I can approach my partner to talk about sex. Now, I almost want to give you the answer to this because these are such serious questions as it relates to a long distance relationship. Like, these questions aren't questions to play with, especially as it, has to do with the topic of sex. This is not a topic or a question that I take lightly at all. So again, that was question 7, and the question was, I am never sure if I can approach my partner to talk about sex. What do you think the answer to that should be? Do you think that should be a yes or a no? Question number 8, that's the final question on this worksheet. Question number 8 says, I fear what my partner thinks of me if I always bring up the topic of sex. Now, this is another serious question because, and I'm going to give a little clues because this last question, I'm going to use this as an example to show you just how I develop these questions. In the chapter, and I talk, very passionately about sex shaming in a relationship, in your relationship. Yeah, it's possible. I went through it. I experienced it. Sex shaming. Your partner can definitely sex shame you. And I know a lot of other women and men have experienced that. So just to give you an idea of how I research and develop each and every one of these questions. So you see that these questions aren't just questions that I picked out of a hat. They have deeper meaning, deeper reasoning, and deeper purpose. So again, question 8. I fear what my partner thinks of me if I always bring up the topic of sex first, right? So if you are feeling, for example, if your answer to this was yes, you do fear that. You fear what your partner will respond to you if you go to them and try to have a conversation with them about sex. If you fear what your partner is going to say. Like, you think they're going to shun you, they're going to tell you to, you talk about sex too much, or they're going to say not again, or, you know, you're an addict, or you talk about this too much. Whatever your fear is, that your partner is going to respond to you negatively. See, if you said yes to this question, that's a problem. That's a significant sign that there is something off in your relationship. You should never feel intimidated to go to your own damn partner to talk about something that you do every day, every other day, every week, every month. If you have a fear about something that you have to do in your relationship with your partner, that's a significant sign. It's the biggest red flag ever. So this is just to give you an insight on how these questions were developed. They weren't picked out of a hat. This book is comprehensive, right? This book is put together not on some idea. This book is not put together off of a 2-week relationship that I had, or off of a 2-month space that I had between me and my partner. This book is written from a lifetime of adulthood, dating, and marriage in a long distance relationship. This book is comprehensive. This book does not, the ideas in the book are not to be taken lightly. These are serious issues that I tackle in this book. All right. I want to prepare you for everything that you are going to experience and see and face, every single thing that you could ever face in your long distance relationship. It's inside this book. The book is comprehensive. It is instructive. It is descriptive. Right? So it's a little explanation into the book, into the worksheet, into what's in the book, into the master key. If you have any other questions about the book, the insides, the master key, the questions, worksheets, please comment and let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. It's Harona.